Good evening, everybody. And our today's session is on warehouse management and inventory management. So we are going to have back-to-back two sessions. One session is today, and one session will be tomorrow. And as we understand, we are into the supply chain management sessions. We had almost 6 sessions on supply chain management. And one of the critical activities of supply chain management is warehouse management and inventory management. If there is a gap, if there is an issue related to warehouse management or inventory management, the whole supply chain come at disruption or a standstill situation. So that's why the warehouse management is very important, and inventory management is also equally important because they are interlinked to each other very strongly. So we are going to have a clear-cut lookout on the subject, and then we will understand in more details how they are dependent on each other, why they are critical for supply chain management, what are their roles and responsibilities. The screen is very clear. The raw material and the components. If it is a cement factory, the raw material ore is coming. If it is an automobile industry, the ancillary, they are sending the components, nut, bolt, tire, tube, steering. So then, in that scenario, the most important point is when this thing comes, it is stored in warehouse. And from there, it goes to production. Again, from the production, once the quality is clearing the products, finished goods, it again goes to warehouse, and then it is dispatched to the finished goods. And these finished goods are dispatched to the shipping. The point which I am trying to make here is, whether it's a raw material or finished good, the house for them is warehouse. And the inventory levels managed in the warehouse, which we call them a simple inventory concept, that also requires some management. So this is how warehousing and inventories are linked to each other. When you have to release the inventory from your warehouses so that you can create a space for new incoming material, or when you have to ensure that your finished good releases from the warehouse so that you can take the next production output. So this is how the warehouse and inventory concept goes hands in hands. And you can understand that if I just make this warehouse block blackout, the whole production cycle will come at standstill. Warehouse management covers the principle of basic definitions to understand. Warehouse management covers the principles and processes involving in running the day-to-day operations of a warehouse. So that's the warehouse management. Managing the processes, managing the concepts, managing the roles and responsibilities within the boundaries of warehouses. High-level understanding, this includes receiving the goods, organizing warehouse spaces, which item will be kept where the raw material will be kept and where the finished good will be kept. Scheduling labor, when do you really need a labor to either to load or unload, to unload the raw material, to load the finished good or to unload the finished good. Managing inventories and fulfilling orders. So you can see that under the big umbrella of warehouse management, these are the basic things are done, including a concept of inventory management also. Because ultimately, the playground for inventory management is nothing but a warehouse only. Now, what are the warehouse management principles and processes? Whereas warehouse management is commonly associated with basic principles: accuracy, cost control, efficiency, safety and security. See, do not think that warehouse is a very big size building. So, it's okay, it can accommodate anything. No. There has to be an accuracy regarding space allocation. If warehouse is 100 meter long, and if you're not able to keep the product at right place, probably there's a to and fro movement of the products which are kept on shelf may require more money for within the transportation within the warehouse. So the accuracy of space utilization is very important. Right place, right time is very important. A simple example, say your exit door and entry doors are well defined in warehouse, entry door and exit door. But the product which is required very frequently, you keep it at the end. And the product which is required in the once in a week, you keep in the front. So for every day, you are going to travel across the warehouse. So that's why the concept of arranging the warehouse, how efficiently you organize the setup of the warehouse, how safely and securely you keep, no boxes should fall, all safety precautions are taken, there are no blockages in between, there are no thefts happen, the securities should be very secure because you are keeping assets of others. So that's why the principles and processes looks very easy, but they are not that easy, they are complex. And that's why the concept of warehouse management principle and processes do exist. But the primary processes are complex and dynamic, presenting major problem for warehouse management across the industries. See, actually, in the dynamic situation, complex situation, multiple raw materials are coming, multiple products, finished goods are kept, they're loading, they're unloading, making them desirable for the fulfillment of the shipment orders. So that's why it's a complex process. It's not just a building and keeping something on the shelf. No, it is much more beyond that. You should not take one day to unload your product at warehouse, and you should not take one day to take the product from the warehouse. That's why efficiency is very important. And that's why the warehouse management concepts are very critically evaluated, and the right practices are implemented, right processes are implemented to avoid any time additional delta T into the process or the disruption of supplies. And because we are discussing this, in the real term, actually warehouse is an unwarranted thing in the supply chain. I'm making a big statement, I understand this concept. Because warehouse is nothing but you are keeping the finished good or raw material on the shelf. So raw material or the finished good kept on the shelf is nothing but as equivalent to money kept on the shelf. That means you are losing its interest every minute per day. So who wants to keep their products idling on the shelf? So I don't want that to happen. Okay, we don't want that to happen. That's why the just-in-time concept has arrived. So the product comes, directly raw material comes and is given to production for producing. Production produces it and it goes to the consumer, distribution centers and everything directly. But across the industry and across the globe, just-in-time cannot be implemented. Warehouse has to be there because of the complex nature of goods movement across the globe. So warehouse is undesirable from the application point of view, but required at the given circumstances. Effectively managing your warehouses, another concept. Now you cannot get rid of warehouse, that is a clear thing, okay? Means you need warehouse, okay? The world cannot work at the concept of just in time. Just in time. So the warehouses will be there, and they are there and they will be there, okay? So now, how to manage effectively your warehouses? Plan the layout of the warehouse. Your warehouse should be so planned, well planned in its layout, so that unnecessary the motion study. Remember that in the operations management we did the time study, distance study, motion studies. We did all these things. So we want to avoid any extra movement. We want to avoid any extra time required to load, unload, to put the product on the shelf. So you should plan it properly. If your train loading bay is in the north side, so you should have the big exit gates of warehouses for unloading the product, correct? Or to give the shipment, to hand over the shipment to the train on the north side. If you are on the east side or on the south side, product has to move out. Second is keep the warehouse organized. Oh, very important thing. 10,000 the nature of product, 10,000 type of products, maybe more than that. Anytime you go to IKEA, just in IKEA, when you are exiting the IKEA, you will see that they have their warehouse, open warehouse. We'll talk about that in the type of warehouse concept, don't worry, in the coming slides. But You can see how well they are organized. Labeled, go to the particular shelf, bring out your product, correct? Use bin locations and labeling. Labeling is very important. Ensure safety, ensure security. Train the staff properly. Very important. There has to be a warehouse culture. Product not required to be kept back at the designated place. Product removed from the shelf should not be kept in the pathway because it may obstruct others. So it should reach to its destination, delivery counter or the loading bay. And for that, the training and staff should be properly trained. Reduce inventory that is not selling, CI, non-moving items. It's not that you have a space, ample space in your warehouse, so you just keep the product. No, as I said, the raw material or the finished goods on the shelf is nothing but equivalent to your money on shelf. So you are losing the interest. Your cash flow is restricted. Your cash flow is blocked, in other way around if I say that. So you should reduce the inventory. Utilize a quality warehouse management system with mobile features. Quality assurances. Monitor the product's quality. Maintain the quality practices. Not only the product quality, maintain the quality procedure of your processes. That you get an alarm if the product is on shelf for more than 1 week, you should get an alarm, yellow alarm. Then you should get some other color alarm. Then you should get a red alarm if the product is more than 10 days, 15 days. Okay, because it is that means that has been ordered and you are still not using it. So you have to take care of that, at most take care of that. So this is how the broad concept of effectively managing your warehouses comes into the picture. There are problems. Okay, we should always not look at the good part of it. There are problems, okay, and there are solutions also to it, okay. So if I say the problems, so accidental redundancy suddenly just came. So we have a redundancy. You have estimated that. By the way, this redundancy is not only about the products, raw material. That is one redundancy. Yes, agreed. You got 2 buffer orders, okay, and because of 2 buffer orders, you have the lack of shelf now to keep your products. Not only this, you have accidental staff redundancy. You have the loading, unloading gadgets within the warehouses. That redundancy. So redundancy, when you do, remember this point. You have a big space, but the concept is still you have a limited space, confined space. So ultimately, human handling devices and the product itself, these 3 things are there inside warehouse. Minimum these 3 things are there. If by default something comes extra, that occupies the floor space. So where to keep it? That's why the quality assurance programs, when made, there are daily check boxes that you will check every day these things. Messy warehouse layout. The layouts are not correct. Or the modification made to the original layouts as per the requirement has made the warehouse more complex. Bad layouts. Bad inventory management. Bad layouts are not correct. Bad inventory management. Inventory management is not done correctly. So the things are lying on the floor, things are not getting out, or there is a short of supply. So not always surplus in warehouse. There are some racks which are empty. Okay, there are some racks which are empty because that product has not been ordered so far. And what happened when that product comes? Because you had surplus material, you park that in another shelf, and that's why now that shelf got full. So you don't have a place. So now see, one wrong act start the step of the messy warehouse. Okay, now you keep searching. By the way, the technologies are developed for this. I will tell you that technology which is there in one of the slides. We are going to discuss that. That the technology is helping us out at least for this kind of act. That okay, if this product is not having a space for his own shelf, okay, keep it to the next shelf. Even though that shelf is designated, labeled for some other product, but still temporarily you kept it there. Now you kept it here, even you are not recorded it also. But how to track that product? That's why RFID cards and all will be coming. That will say that, okay, I'm here. You can check that. That's the product will say that I'm here. So that means even if it is kept at wrong place, by RFID card, you can find out. It has 100 meter, 200 meter, 600 meter radius is there. Radio frequency identity card. So that is put on the label and put on the product. Poor preparedness for seasonal demands. Seasonal demands are the most, like you can say, most complex and highly fluctuating. So suddenly the demand will come for 15 days, 10 times. How will you handle that in the warehouse? So you should have a plan for that also. Unsatisfactory order management. Order managements are not executed correctly. Orders are coming late. See, it's a sequence. Warehouse is, first of all, undesirable, but unavoidable. It has to be there. But at the same time, it's a temporary place for the products and goods and raw materials. It is not a permanent place. It's just a transit. Come, stay, take a deep breath, relax, okay, and go. So just a temporary place. But if there are seasonal orders are fluctuating, if order management is not done correctly, product may not come in time, and if come in time, what happened is demand has reduced because they are arranged from different source. So now it has to stay extra. And all these things, because it's not planned very well, it impacts your labor resources, vehicular loading, unloading, vehicular requirement. If you are taking them on, if suppose how much you will keep? You will keep 10 pieces, 15 pieces. I'm just giving an example. Loading, unloading, you know that the cart which takes you up, loading, unloading devices. But suppose suddenly demand increases, so you may have to rent out those loading, unloading devices. Because who will maintain that much? Because ultimately they require maintenance. They are not just they do not come free. They do not stay with you free. Poor damage control. Damages happens in the warehouses. Product damages happens. So how to handle that product damages? All these things. So and this happens in handling. When you put on the rack, something falls, not hold it properly. See, so there are many things are there. There are challenges in warehouses. And with the help of technology, they are being improvised slowly. So the warehouse conditions have improved a lot over a period of time. 40 years before, 50 years before, or 30 years before, what warehouses used to be there? No, the same capability, same type of warehouse with the quality aspect, automation aspect has grown up a lot. And what are the essential processes for warehouse management? Yes, there's an inventory tracking. There's no doubt in that. We need to track an inventory because it is not a black spot. We need everything what is there inside the warehouse. Picking and packing, which is retrieving items, preparing for dispatch. Okay, so I need to supply. You need to supply to firm ABC. So pick the products and pack it. Receiving and stowing. At the same time when you are receiving the raw material or you are receiving the spare parts. So receive them, accept them and place in the proper storage. Stowing. Monitor lost it. Monitor stock levels and locations, where the stock levels are there and which the locations they are kept at proper place or not. And shipping them. Dispatching orders to the customers. So shipment. Yes, you have to do that, shipping process. Then reporting, analyzing data for insights. So whatever analysis is there, your inventory levels, your normal stay away layout. See, like in the warehouse, when I say it's a temporary storage, so you should optimize that temporary storage so the product should stay. If last year product A was staying, average was staying 3 days, your success will be you allow the product to stay for 2.5 days this year. So the inventory on shelf is optimized by the number of days it stayed in your warehouses. That means it was put to production it was put to the finished good was put to distribution, or the consumer demands was quick. So the product has stayed less on the warehouse shelves. And this is what you analyze from the previous data, year's data. Different type of warehouses are there, and we are going to see that what are the different kind of warehouses are there in the industry, and how they are what is their purpose exactly. I'm going to go slow on this so that you can understand them very easily, and why they are essentially required, what is their purpose, what is their use every time, and how modernization is happening, so we can see that. Okay. There are types of warehouses, by the way. Okay. So there are types of warehouses. So one is a distribution center. You know that in our supply chain, we saw that the finished goods, when it is dispatched from the manufacturing premises, where they goes to the regional headquarters, regional distribution center, or the state distribution center, or the district distribution centers, depending on their configuration. So the distribution center is what? It covers, it allows the finished good to come, stay with it, and then it can be given, redistributed to the retailers, or there are wholesalers or the consumers. Correct? So this is basically a distribution center is a place where the finished goods are brought, okay, and then they are given to retailers, wholesalers, consumers, depending on that. There could be a big consumer. So directly distribution center will supply that to the wholesale consumer. It's basically a efficient logistic hub, one of the prominent component of logistics. Because a distribution center is not only restricted to redistribution to retailer, wholesaler and consumer. Even the two distribution centers, they are also connected with each other. And probably they do a job of feeding to another distribution center also. Say for example, if your manufacturing is taking some 3 days operational shutdown, okay, but distribution center has to still support with their existing inventory level to their regions. So say A distribution center and the B distribution center, if they are having unequal quantity, so who has a higher number, they can definitely support another distribution center which has a lesser number. Whereas the upstream supply from the manufacturer is still not coming. So the distribution center, one distribution center supports another distribution center also. Like our Starbucks and all, no? They work on the distribution center concept for their products and everything. So that is one of the model we have seen in our previous supply chain discussions, one of the sessions. Pick, pack and ship warehouse, okay? And what is that? Pick and pack warehouse is the process in which fulfillment center choose products from shipment and repack them for distribution. See, actually, the concept, same like fulfillment center also, but here the concept is shipment has arrived, okay? So you already know that this shipment, what has been received at warehouse, need to be sent to any consumer. It could be a retailer, individual customer, wholesaler, whatever XYZ. It need to be sent. So in that set, what they do, but the whole quantity, say you received 1,000 tons. So what you do, your distribution for today, the distribution is 100 tons or 150 tons. So not putting the whole thing for storage on the shelf, you are taking out 100 tons from that, packing it as required and sending it to 10 customers. They need 10 tons or whatever distribution is there. So basically picking, packing and shipment. So it reduces the inside warehouse movement, putting on the shelf, unloading, loading, all these things, correct? In place of that, the inventories are put on wheel. They're redistributed immediately. So that is what, and for that definitely you need an IT infrastructure, you need a mechanical infrastructure to support the warehouse with this feature. So they are your pick, pack and ship warehouses. Cold storage. See, we know this is a very common phenomenon what we see. So primarily stored food items that are short-lived and likely to get spoiled under normal conditions. Fruits, vegetables, fishes, meats, etc. Cold storage is having a very vital importance across the globe. And why so? Because fish and meat I will talk separately. But the leafy vegetables and other vegetables who are just produced from the nearby farms, if they need to be traveled to the long distance and they are not being transported immediately through the cold transport system, cold supply chain, they need to be stored. Across the globe, the grains, food grains, wastage and the fruit and vegetable wastage. So the fruit and vegetable wastage is almost, I'm talking of the Indian statistics right now. I'm not exactly aware about the world, but I know it is more than, in India it is almost 2 times of the food grain wastage. So the fruits and vegetable wastage is around 30% of its production, overall production, 30 to 40%. And one of the prominent reason is non-availability of cold storages at the right place. Because see, fruits and vegetables are being grown at every district, every place across the country. So you need an equal distribution of cold storage. So whatever you consume. But whatever you do not consume, surplus comes, you need to redistribute or you need to keep it for some time with you. So that need to be addressed very clearly. That's why the cold storage is of high prime importance in the industry. And the most important point is cold storage with cold supply chain. That means the vehicles with having a cold storage specification on wheels, cold storage on wheels, and stationary cold storages, both are of prime importance to avoid the wastage of fruits, vegetables, fish and meats, because these wastages are of very high percentage. And right now, the challenge is uneven distribution of cold storages and non-availability of cold storage on wheels, mobile cold storage. And warehouses for refrigeration 0 to 10 degrees centigrade, and frozen, like we know the frozen products, meat and fish, so they are up to minus 30 degree they are kept. Okay, this is another good concept, that on-demand storage, flexible warehousing solutions. See, you need not to have your own warehouse. Getting my point? And it's a very common practice in the industry. So there are warehouse management companies who are managing warehouses. So we are just renting out a space over there. So that is called on-demand storage. Probably if you know that you have a big inventory levels and you always need a warehouse, so you will not go for on-demand storage, because that will be costly affair for you in the next 20 years down the line time. But in case if you are not having that great level of inventory you are handling in your production cycle or in your service cycle, in that case you can use the rental warehousing systems, and the rental warehousing systems are available. Especially when you know that even if you make the warehouse, but your business is highly fluctuating, okay, demand fluctuating businesses are there. For example, especially for clothings you can take, or you can take the winter clothings and all this kind of things are there. So at that time, your summer clothing's inventory and your winter clothing inventories, they are not same. So in that case, even if you build a warehouse, you may not able to build. You have to build for maximum capacity, and which may not fetch you the good benefit out of it. So what do? We try to use an on-demand storage, rental storage, or flexible warehousing solutions available in the market. So they give you a benefit of not owning a warehouse. Bonded warehousing. And what is the bonded warehousing? You know that we do a custom clearance, okay, but you don't pay the custom duties completely, so they will keep that in their warehouses. So these are all regulatory supervised, custom controlled warehouses are there. These are basically controlled environment, like a completely controlled environment is there, because if you pay the custom duty, you can take the products from here. So, but suppose you don't take it, then you know that they put damages on you. That means putting in the warehouse. If you have been given 1 week time, 3 days time to clear your pay custom, you can take your product. But suppose if you are not taking that product in that day, so they'll not throw it outside. Okay. So what they will do that they will put the damages on you, additional charges of their warehouses. They said in our contract we allow you only 3 days free service or 2 days free service, or maybe 24 hours free service. Submit the custom fees and take your product out. If you don't take it in 1 day or 3 days, then you have been put the damages, extra charges. That means nothing but penalty of storing the goods extra there. Okay. So this is how the bonded warehouses work actually. And you know that if you don't put damages and you keep it for a longer duration, then the custom auction your product also. So the source of that auction products are not nothing but these kind of bonded warehouses where products are unclaimed for a longer duration. This is very important, okay? Especially when we are going to have a discussion on a digital supply chain, so a smart supply chain. So similarly, in supply chain, when I say smart supply chain, so the smart supply chain means what? Every component of it should be smart. So similarly, the smart warehouses, the warehouse is one of the critical component of supply chain. It need to be smart. So first of all, what are the features are coming up? Robotics for loading and unloading. So the human intervention is reduced there. By reducing the human intervention, what happens there? Your safety, human injuries, risk are reduced. It uses Internet of Things. And what is the meaning of Internet of Things? Smart devices. So for example, you have a CCTV cameras inside, okay? And CCTV camera are monitoring you. There will be motion sensors, I'm not denying. But the CCTV camera, by looking at the change of the color of a product, or it can detect even a leakage in a drum. So that kind of cameras will be there, which sees a goods, any leakage, any fumes coming out. I'm not talking of fire, that is something big. We have a fire detection system, that's keep aside. But the cameras which can detect the leak also, okay, which can see change of color. That means there is something happening inside this packaging material. It's changing. It's a normal color, is a gray, but it's changing to the white color, or it's getting black. So this kind of intelligent cameras are also there, which are there kept to check the condition of the products which are stored. And not only that, they talk to each other. They talk with the help of artificial intelligence equipment. Automated inventory management and product locations. See, the smart component, I'll go back to that point, but before that, let me cover this so I can go back to that point. Radio frequency identification. Say a small component is kept inside, okay, but there is an RFID card on this. So let it be kept anywhere else. If I missed it also, I can track it on my mobile. By the tracking RFID device, I can track it. Because the product will tell me, I'm sitting here. It will give you a location. Within that, it will give you a location map, and it will show its location where it is kept. So you can identify that. So product location are important, and it can be identified with the help of RFID card very easily. Even you can do counting also. Inventory management system will give one-time alarm to one kind of RFID codes, and then you will come to know this kind of particular RFID code products, which is say a simple water bottle. I'm giving an example. So this kind of products are 1,000 available in our store right now. So you have an automated inventory levels also. No need to go there again by tick. Okay, we have 3 samples, 3 racks full. That means it is 900. Maafi. And all these are sensed. You check thermal sensing, you do movement sensing, you do any cracks are happening in the products. That is what the smart cameras will help you out, correct? And they're all what you call it? They're all covered under the warehouse management system. Remember that sometimes in the summer we used to come to home and then we'll switch on our AC. AC will take 15-20 minutes to cool down the room and all. Now what happened? The same AC, while you are starting from your office, from your mobile, you can give a command to start, and it starts through internet communication. It gives a command to your AC to start 10 minutes before. You can control your dishwasher, you can control your washing machine. Guys, this is called making the dumb devices a smart device, and this is possible with the help of Internet of Things, IoT. So, and I'm giving one more example. Our ATM machines, bank ATM machines. We used to have like a security guard there, correct? Still they keep security guards. It's on the thing, and many places not there. The smart systems are there, smart cameras are there, and if they found any foul things, any foul happening, somebody's tampering with the ATM machines, alarm will be generated. Alarm will be generated. Door will be shut. So the Internet of Things is making the devices so smart. So these devices are producing more information. And these devices, they talk to robots directly. Okay, so this is how they are able to communicate. Machine is able to communicate with another machine. And with the help of artificial intelligence platform. IoT enables robots to communicate with all necessary technology for task completion. Yes. Next is warehouse versus fulfillment center. Main role of warehouse is to simply store inventory, long-term storage of goods. We are talking of fulfillment center actually. Whereas fulfillment center is processes and ship products to customer, focus on order fulfillment and logistics. So what it does, like now I'm coming to that IKEA example, correct? Okay, so you have a shelf in the left hand side, that's a typical IKEA warehouse, correct? But suppose the customer needs some loose pieces, okay, and he has not come to IKEA, he has placed an online order. So on my left hand side and the right hand side under the fulfillment center, you are seeing that the persons are opening the big boxes, they are taking out the desired packet, say Nitin need 5 pieces of this one, 3 pieces of this one. So they repack for me the required items, and then on the tray it goes directly to the shipment department. So shipment department has those details with the sticker and everything on the order, and they know this product need to be delivered to so and so person. So in the fulfillment center, we make our packaging ready for the ordered material. We pack them in that shape, and at the same time we hand it over to the logistics, and then logistics transfer it, take it to the Nitin's house, and that's why the fulfillment center has done the job of fulfilling the desire of Nitin, fulfilling the order of the Nitin. Correct? So this is why, and by the way, fulfillment centers are concept is very important, because now when we are getting into an online concept. Okay, so when online shopping concept, so where our human intervention is nil, so only the systems are working for you, humans are working, machines are working for you. Okay, so with this, today we have concluded the basics of warehouse management. Okay, and tomorrow we are going to have the good concept on inventory.